Good morning. Oh, man. I think I even got some good sleep last night. I'm still exhausted. Glasses. Hey, Tom. Good morning. How are you? I just wrote in the very brief comments. I will be doing a quick little wrap up of yesterday's show. It's quite good in many, many ways. Quite an excellent show. Slowing down on the Mustang build can be done accurately. Slowing down on the Mustang build don't think can be done accurately. You mean the model itself? Who's the maker of the model, Tom? AMT? Yeah. And it is likely it's probably one of their older molds. So, yeah, I'm sure it has its rebuilding the front end. Yeah. Well, that sounds like fun, though. You can do it. Hell, you want to work on that idiotic Era Comet. Hey, Ray, good morning. Literally scratch building it. Great. Like 90% of the work. I did 90% of the crap work. I don't think the work was all that great, Tom. I was slapping it together. I'm sure there's nothing in alignment. There's gaps galore, panel lines that need to be added. No. Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Do I have to make modifications to it to be accurate? You're talking about the Era Comet? Yeah, you do. And for me, it was like I just didn't want. It just wasn't a model I wanted to take there. No, sir. They don't like it. Anyway, we are going to wrap up early today, probably around 20 of, quarter of. I've got to get moseying to an appointment early this morning. But still gives us plenty of time. Plenty of time. Actually, I think jumped on even a little earlier than normal today. Miracle of miracles of that is. Eliminating a feature that never existed. Eliminating a feature that never existed. Is this on the Mustang or the Era Comet? Ooh. Okay. They were coming. Yeah. Have at it. Yeah, I didn't want to make it accurate. I just wanted to make it. Just wanted to actually like say, hey, I completed a Kirk collection model. I guess not. I'm just sanding the leg piece on this. Okay, came out pretty good on this piece here. Hey, Edwin, good evening. How are you? It'll go on your mantle. It'll go on my mantle. Ooh. Well, I'm not sure if it'll be the mantle, but I will absolutely put it in a place of honor. Okay. Okay. So yesterday at the Classic Plastic Show, I had and I no, will I build a car? Yes, absolutely. I got a couple in my stash. But uh, the level of work that some of these modelers put into their cars. There's one model I pack on that I wish I knew who the modeler is, so I can ask how they made the attachment for the plane to the stand. One of them, yeah, Tom, you bring up a really good point. And this is the problem with the competition again. It comes back to we compete, but we don't engage. And that's kind of what I'm looking to continue to move away from. I really want to move away from competitions and maybe even like whether it's a juried exhibition or just having a club tables. These car models are so good. I just can't put them down. I just can't put them down. They just want to fly away, and I feel like I got to catch them and bring them down. Yeah. Ray, as we were certainly at the joke phase. We were joking about it yesterday at the classic plastic show. So quite a bit. If you can't poke fun at yourself, who can you poke fun at? Well, I guess there's Ray. We could always poke fun at him, but or me. All right, let's see what we got here. I got that done, that done. I'm missing it. Oh, here we go. This is the one I want. It doesn't. Jesus Louise. Getting stuck to this thing. Dang. Because I want to attend so much convention in 3 months. Car, plant, animal, comic. Wow, that's a lot of that is a lot. And books. Wow, that is a lot of conventions. Damn. Judge's Trebuchet should be a huge hit next year. Yeah, probably. I won't say it. Just yesterday's show was so good. I'll wait for a few more people to pop in. Then what I'll do is I'll do a little recap. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit so people can see what the hell I'm doing. Anyway. My job is annoying right now. Isn't that part of the definition of just about every job? Oh, and by the way, we will be annoying you. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Great. Do I get extra pay for that? No, you just get the opportunity of being annoyed. Okay. What's going on, Nick? Good morning. There's one guy that thinks everyone is his employee, like we can be interchangeable. There are people like that. And is he like an immediate boss? Is he a direct report, or is he just another asshole that works for the same company that you work at? Okay, there we go. He should be first. His help desk guys should be first. He's the boss for the help desk. I'm not help desk and have my own boss, right? Oh, so he bypass. Oh, that's nice. Bypassing the chain of command. Bad, bad, bad. Anyway, everybody have a good Sunday. I hope so. All right, we got that on there. Sorry, guys, I'm just checking to see that I got everything kind of sanded. Flat spotting in a couple places here, but so be it. Something I observed quite a bit yesterday, particularly like wheel rims and a couple of other places that guys got a little aggressive in their sanding. So jobs, the one I've been working at getting is moving forward. I'd have to do some testing next week. Oh, really? Oh, so you're moving on to the next phase. Nice. Nick, can I ask what those tests are? You don't have to respond. I'm just kind of curious. Because I'm on site doesn't mean I know shit about the issues they're having. Yeah. I'm actually on the train back home to make sure my daughter is okay and ready for school. Well, that's good. It's always good to make sure that your kid's okay. I don't like the guy anyway. And he sucks too. I love it. All right, we're gonna hit this thing with surfacer so I can get the area cleaned up, and then I'll start working on the foots. All right, so yesterday was the Classic show, and I attended for a few reasons. One, I hear it's a good show. You know, a couple people in the car community are like, you should check that out. I'm like, all right. And I had the weekend open, which is good. Secondly, because they have a new Gundam category, and I was like, all right, I'll participate in that. Meaning I will help do the judging. I brought 2 Gundam, 2 Macross kits, and I also brought my little tank. You know, and the thought was the tank would go in competition and the other stuff would just go in the Gundam category and as display only. So you can flag a model at the show for display only. I'm like, all right, cool. I just want, like I said, I just wanted to have stuff on the table. So there was that. And then the third reason was, and probably the biggest reason was because the couple of those guys were instrumental in the issues that we had last year. And by instrumental, it's like, you know, one of the modelers there was the one who was you know, kind of brought up the situation and went that's the one that went viral and everything like that. So anyway, so I wanted to actually spend some time. He and I said, let's catch up at the show. I'd love to talk with you and go from there. So after I got my model set up, almost immediately he came up to me and we had a great conversation. Their display only section at the show. They don't have, Classic Plastic does not have a display only section. What they have is you can tag your model as display only, not for competition. So that's what I did with my Macross kits and my Gundam kits. I just flagged them for that. I had one judge then walk up to me and say, "Oh, I really like Robotech. That Destroid, it's a Spartan is what originally was, and I know that in Robotech they changed the name." He goes, "Oh, I really like it. You should move your Tomahawk over to." It's like, okay, fine. So I needed to move it to miscellaneous because it was officially not considered a Gundam. Okay. So then I went back to the table and I said, "Well, I'm moving this thing, and since I'm not going to be judging miscellaneous, I'll put them in competition." So I put my my Glouge and my Spartan in competition in the miscellaneous category. This is just aptitude test, the mechanical construction field of work with electrical. So some math and common sense reasoning. Nice. Cool. Drama. Boo, Robotech. Boo, Robotech. I just found it funny that he called it Robotech. But again, that's what a lot of people know. Later on, I find out this guy is a little bit of thinks he knows it all from another one of the other guys at the club. Anyway, so we had a great conversation about the issue, with the controversy. I kind of, I said, my only concern throughout this whole thing is that, two guys have been ripped into, that, we're following rules that they not of their making, and he was totally understanding, totally supportive. He also, to be frank, he was also being, he was being very honest with me about what he saw. And as a guy who's been, competing, from what I gather, competing in car modeling for 30 years, it's not like the guy is a dummy. So knew a few things, and he made some suggestions about how to do things. Because I asked, it's like, "Hey, so what should we be doing? What is appropriate within this club?" And and everything we got back was just don't pick up the model that high, literally. And through the day, the times he even picked up his model. He's like, "Yeah, like when you're looking underneath," we joked a little bit about it. Again, you had to make some light of the situation. So we sorry, just moving some stuff over here. Like so. Robotech know-it-all is the worst. Well, yeah. Again, sometimes know who you're talking with before you kind of say anything, but okay, fine. So we had a good conversation. I then had a conversation with one of the judges who was at our show and is also part of this group and another group. One of my, one of the guys I really, really like. He's the president of the Jesus Christ, the Granite State Modelers. So he filled me on some more stuff too, some more considerations, some more issues that he saw. And just, again, not from a vilification perspective, just say, this is a couple things you might want to know when you're kind of working on a bunch of these things. All right, cool. So we talked about that. And then we met with a YouTuber. He actually approached us. He's like, "Hey, you're George, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Hey, yeah, I'm with the Modeling Insanity podcast. You probably know us." And I'm like, "Yep," because that's the guy, not this guy, but one of his colleagues is the one who started this whole he's the one who kind of really went nutty with this and said, I question humanity when I see people doing this. I'm like, wow. And I actually brought that up to this guy. He goes, hey, I just wanted to bring it up. It's like, yeah, I know that this thing got posted. And I said, look, my only concern here is that, I mean, really, your guy, he's a little out there. He goes, yeah, that's just his nature and how he does things. We throw up our hands and go, oh God, here goes Rob going off again. But this is just kind of his shtick. And I said, I understand, but we're the bearers of this. He goes, yeah, no, that's the unfortunate thing. He's got this thing about certain competitions and how they run things, whether it's the AMPS show or the IPMS show, and he just gets on these things and you guys just happen to be the ones who took the brunt of it. I'm like, yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, again, I'm not justifying that what we did or how we went about this was right, but, as opposed to having a conversation, to do that really isn't all that good. So we had a couple more minutes back and forth on this thing, and I left it with, look, if we have an opportunity, can we go on your show and just kind of, sort of give our side on this thing, have a conversation about judging and everything. He goes, yeah, why don't you reach out to Rob? I'm like, okay, and see if he'd be up for that. Okay. Anyway, guy was nice. I'm not discounting, his he wasn't like a nice guy or anything like that. He was just, but I think he was in some ways he was kind of doing what I was doing, towing the company line. I'm here to listen, but I'm also here because I want to make sure that I'm there to protect my my club and the region as well. So I'm going to display my car model on its side in the future. No need to pick it up. Well, the funny part about it is, dude, I'm telling you, there's a couple of guys who are like smart. They got these mirror bases, not just mirrors, but literally it lifts the car up, keeps it at a bit of an angle. So you get to see the bottom reflected off of a mirror. I mean, you get to see the whole bottom of the car. I'm like, that's brilliant. Now, do I think everybody can afford those things or should it be on every model? I don't know. It'd be nice, but no, I'm sure there's a cost involved to that. Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, I was proud of it. Iceman sells those bases. Yeah. Learned a lot about aftermarket this weekend. Wow. Aftermarket cars like aftermarket airplane. It is insane. What's going on, Joe? Good morning. So anyway, that conversation I feel was okay. I'm not sure where it's going to go. And I thought about it last night. I talked to another guy, one of my my treasurer who was there last night as well. And he was listening in on that conversation. And he's like, yeah, I'm not sure where that went. Yeah. We reach out. If they want us on the show, great. And if not, move on. You can't sometimes change the mind of people who I don't know how to best explain it. In any case, so then we got to judging, and I judged with my buddy Mac, who is he's a really good car modeler, and also just I've mentioned him before. He's taught me a lot about judging, and he did a great job of describing what to look for in a car model, because I have no idea. It's $15. Okay. It's actually pretty cheap, depending on which one. It's actually not bad at all. I'm very sleepy. Didn't get restful sleep last night. Kept waking. Oh, Joe, I'm sorry to hear that. Everything okay? No concerns, no issues, no pains. Well, here's the thing. Every now and then you can throw. Oh my God. Certainly how much money you throw, it's not expensive. If it's only $15, I would say that's pretty good. But also, Tom, keep in mind, for some of these guys, $15 is a lot. Remember, a lot of these guys are on unlimited funds. I'm good. Just a busy week ahead of me. Yeah. Are you still doing inspections, Joe? You know, one of the things that I will, I cannot criticize somebody for, it's when you have a fixed income, when you have how much money do you have? And you get to spend it in certain ways. How much do you do that? If you enter, let's say, 5 models into a competition, right? Now it's 5 times 15. It's $60 just in stands. It's a lot. Next 3 days, yet they spend money on their car model. Yeah, but that's the point. That's the enjoyable part. No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing. But what I'm saying is it's more about thinking about where people will apply their resources. If I build a model, I'm having fun building the model. If I put it on a stand, that's not fun. That's more of a luxury or a necessity, or take your pick however you want to look at it. You know? So we actually did look underneath the car. We very gently turned them over. Just kind of, you pick it up a little bit and you just turn it over this way. So, and there's ways around it. And we wore gloves. And that is something I think is 100% needed in the show. And I totally agree. We should not be picking up people's models without gloves. Whether the person brings the model and sets it up with gloves or not, we will be judging and handling models with gloves from now on. That rule, I'm almost 100% certain we're going to implement. Enter a competition, it's now more than having fun. Yeah, Tom, again, I will just say this. I don't think one can prescribe their own values on what is acceptable or not. Because here's the thing. The guy who won Best of Show, okay, the model that he did, and beautifully finished, but it was a 58 Ferrari that was 16 inches long. It was massive. Okay. There was no aftermarket in it. The reason is it was $1,000 kit. And when you look at the pieces and parts and details, and he assembled and did a great job. I'm not taking away from the modeler. But then when Mac and I were the ones who went around and had to choose the best engine. I mean, when you got a car that's this big, and they've done great wiring work, and there's a couple of them that were really nicely done. But then you go look at that Ferrari, where you can blow up the details, and there's more parts to add, and all that other stuff. It was kind of like Mac and I looked at each other. It's no contest. It's almost the same problem we have in the Gundam world, where you have a what scale? I don't know, 1/10, 1/16, whatever it was. It was ridiculous. It was massive. And then next to it was an F1, a Formula One car that was probably somewhere, maybe not that as much, but it was pretty expensive too. And that guy, the same thing. The amount of aftermarket that he probably threw into his engine. By the way, those tied for best engines. They were massive. They were both cars that were, sizable. What's that? 16 inches, I'm guessing, approximately. I don't know. They were sizable. So hold it, Tom. Why spending $1,000 on a model that you then assemble, putting it on a show and blows everybody away? Acceptable. But a stand at $15 for some people, or I shouldn't say acceptable, it blows you away, but the stand doesn't. Yeah, it's all about this guy is retired, he's very wealthy, and he's done well for himself, and he builds models. He loves building models. And I give the guy credit. It was a beautiful model. He did a absolutely fantastic job. one of the things that I've never seen in a show is, at what, a max figure you can spend on a model. All I know is a Japanese kit. It was beautiful. So during the award ceremony, again, now it's like, all right, I'm no different than anybody else. I dislike competitions. I was saying it all day yesterday. I want us to move away from competitions. I'd rather go to either juried exhibitions or just do club tables. Just have fun with the models, talk about the models more than actually, compete. But I'm no different than anybody else. So yesterday, because I was kind of like, okay, well, you can't put your models on the Gundam table. All right, fine, I'll compete. So I'm happy to report, yes, I did win an award. I came in second in the miscellaneous category, which was a very populated category. I was actually surprised. And it included everything from dinosaurs to, some odd duck vehicles and anything that didn't fit into any traditional category. So the Destroid Spartan came in second. I don't even remember. Truly don't remember. Because frankly, it's like, no offense, there's a lot of good stuff on that table. There was an astronaut figure. I think somebody brought a maybe like a historical rocket. Which could be yours? Oh, I'm sorry. The Destroid Spartan. I brought the Spartan out of retirement for the show. Because all I wanted to do was, I wanted to put her on the Gundam table and not compete, just to talk about just to have something on the table, which was good because the Gundam table only had 4 models in competition. And almost all of it was out of the box. Actually, 3 of the 4 were out of the box. 2 of them were roughly finished. One of them was a little Zaku this tall. It literally had, I think, 4 or 5 parts on it. It's one of those things you can find at Barnes and Noble. And the one that actually did win was incredible. It was rough, but it was a Zaku from RV, Requiem for Vengeance. And the guy did some painting touch-ups, but generally didn't paint the model, snapped it up. There were definitely gaps and seams, mold lines, all that other stuff. He did weathering, which was nice. It was a nice little ad. One of the nice things about the show is that you can do some additional work and get credit for it. And I think that's important, right? So he won, but if that were competing in like one of our at our categories, but 4 models, and it was disappointing, but they were expecting more kids. In fact, the truly unfortunate thing I would say at their show, and this is not them, there were no juniors. There were no kids that competed. That's too bad. I was talking to myself yesterday. The reason I don't want to compete is because it is futile for me. I make models because I like it, not to compete, and tastes are subjective. I agree. Dang. I would have had a chance, more than a chance. Yeah. You probably would have done well, and it would have been good to have you at the table. Granted, it's Lawrence, Mass, which means it's right near the New Hampshire border. It's a haul. All right, I got 5 minutes, guys, and I got to roll. That's going to require. Okay, I think we're done with this. We're going to hit this thing up with Surfacer now. But anyway, then at the end, just did a recap. I will use the guy's name. Tim Ryan was the guy who created the situation for us. At the end of the day, I have much, much more respect for him. I think he's a fabulous modeler. He himself won a lot of awards. He presented himself and his concerns with I mean, they were legitimate. I'm not discounting that, and I think we came across and explained to him what we thought, it would have been a better tact. And in fact, to Tim's credit, he went on last night on Facebook, on the Southern Maine page, which is where a lot of this started, and he apologized. And that to me speaks more about a person than just about anything, you know? And I'm today, when I have a few free moments, I'm going to reach out to him and I'm going to text him. I'm going to say, hey, Tim, I can't thank you enough for that. I mean, he texted me saying, hey, by the way, I did post something. I can't thank you enough for that. I think that's great. I super appreciate it. And I think, you know, you're a remarkably honorable person. Thank you for doing that. I broke so much yard equipment this weekend. Instead, somebody's getting a new hedge trimmer. Nice. Now I'm at the level why I build this and what is the story I want to tell rather than just slap up. Yeah, exactly. Storytelling, I think that's a conversation for the future, everyone, because that's something I had a great conversation with one of our members, Linda, about. Like, what we look for models is more about storytelling than it is about the models that I enjoy the most aren't the winners. It's the ones that actually have a good story behind them. He didn't do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong. Good morning, Dwayne. How are you? He did nothing wrong. That's the funny part about this thing. There was no right or wrong. The only thing that he did wrong, the only thing, was that he went to Facebook on it because of the situation, as opposed to coming to talk to me. I wish he did that. And he understands that. That's probably the better tack, because he understands that and our clubs are going to get closer, I think, because of it. So that's the only mistake. Hey, Peter, good morning, by the way. How are you? He did nothing wrong. I don't disagree. I think he had a legit concern. He brought it up. He didn't think he got the satisfaction that he wanted. And unfortunately, that and a couple of other things. There were models that got damaged at the show, and he got frustrated. And sometimes that's what people do when they get frustrated, and they just decide, I'm going to go online and post my frustrations. And then the rest of the ethersphere decided it was going to jump on it. And I get, and look, I'm not vilifying and I'm not justifying. I understand. But we now have a better relationship, and I think that will not happen again. And I'm very happy about that, because I think he's a really good guy, and I don't think he was trying to do any harm to anybody. So then I talked to a couple of other guys there, and overall, I cannot speak enough positively about the show. Just to let you guys know, it is not a small show. There were 400 models in competition, the majority of which were cars. We had 800, and that's across multiple categories. So to have almost 400 in one category, that's impressive. Tim's the guy that put the two judges on blast. That is correct. Is he a car guy? Yes, he is. And he is an exceptionally talented car builder. Yes. Did he know you or trust that it would be handled well after talking to the judges? He did not know me. We did not know we meet each other officially until yesterday. Just some things, just some commentary in Facebook, and that was it. Okay. Is he a car guy? Yes, he is. Peter, I hope everything is going well, ma'am. Hopefully things are on the improve. Pretty good. I started the Imperial Shell. Oh, nice. Did some major surgery right out of the gate. Of course you did. That's the Tidarium shuttle, right? The old whatever, AMC or whatever. Oof, MPC. At least he spoke with and apologized, understood the situation. Yeah, but again, I was not expecting an apology. All I was asking for, like from everybody, do whatever it can just to bring the temperature down. You know, we're not bad guys. Nobody here is a bad guy. Let's just bring the temperature down. And he, from what I've seen right now, he understood that. And I will do the same thing back. It's like, and I appreciate his feedback. And, you know, I will not allow anybody now. This is what I keep saying. You know, I'm not going to allow people to kind of like go on tangents and rip into other people over this craziness. It's not what we need to do. Let's get back to modeling. That's the important thing. Let's get back to having fun at competitions or shows or expos or whatever. Let's enjoy the hobby, right? Yeah, NPC, I chopped the body to get the proportions closer to the screen. Wow. Peter, one last question, then I got to roll. Do you actually have dimensions of that model, like actual schematics? Anyway. All right, guys. I'm going to start winding it down. Need to leave early today. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Thanks for being on this morning. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for letting me fill you in. If you do have an opportunity, if you're a car guy, you want to really like see what's going on, that's a great show to go to. No, but there's a lot of pixel. Got it. That's a gun. I'm having met a kit where no surgery was needed. Yeah, basically. Even Gundam. If you want to get things right, go out there and do good, guys. Go brighten the world as much as you possibly can. It's a crazy world, but you know what? All this stuff that's going on this last week and change. What's interesting about this is we can solve problems if we just sit down and have good conversations, and people on opposite ends can find ways. They really can. So go out there and do good, brighten the day as much as you can. And I will catch you not tomorrow. I am unavailable tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday. Peace.